Hello everyone, this is Greyshot 117 here, bringing you another Company Roaster replay, brought to you by Benjamin Adams. Benjamin, by the way, I have no idea which side you're on. Unless you quickly go through here and you spot your name. No. Nope. Okay, so I don't know who Benjamin is, so we're just going to do a 4v4, and for those who are watching, congratulations, since you are a Patreon subscriber, you get this video for free earlier than everyone else, probably by a few weeks. So again, that's the special thing where you get special access to this video, and I'll try to eventually make it so that way future content maybe is a week in advance on Patreon. But like I said, I'm still new to it, and I still need to get the hang of it. But maybe expect that in the next month or two for me to start implementing that and just start storing up and doing that, because I think that would be a really, really cool idea to do at least one video a week per I guess per group, a little bit earlier. But anyway, yes, so as we can see, again, it looks like the allies are a little bit weaker, but that being said, technically the allies got a boost, so we shall see how this goes. Luckily, this game is supposed to be all infantry combat, which is something I really like to hear, because again, it's not like, oh, it's armor. It's like, no, it's actually strategic infantry combat, which I would really like to see. Let's see, Colonel Cotton. Oh wait, I should probably go to names. Colonel Cotton, Monster Fart, SWAT in second versus Samuel, Danone, Skywalker, and ID Tank. So let's see what's going on. Up north, we have Pioneer. Yeah, Pioneer? Yeah. Versing conscripts. Unfortunately, he's going to have to pull back. These guys only are good close range. Though we have an MG in this building that could easily hold back the Soviet force over here. In the middle, unfortunately, we have American forces along with... No, just American forces. Oh, wait, no, there he is. And another conscript squad running away. Does anyone go... One British, one American, and two Soviets. And 3 Vermont and OKW. OKW, still in hiding. Still in hiding for all this shame. Shame. Anyway, MG doing a pretty good job knocking out that engineer squad, stopping it before it caps that point. Very nice. Now, of course, what I would do is, if I was this guy, was try to get it. Okay, another MG in this building would be pretty good. That we could have an MG war. Typically, it could go either way. Unfortunately, there's an MG here, so it'd probably make actually lose. Although it's one guy, so I don't know. Maybe you could kill it. That's just me, though. Probably should retreat at this point. This guy will probably actually lose it. Oh wait, how's there 4 guys now? Alright, that's weird. Anyway, over here, not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. Again, you may be asking yourself, oh my god, infantry section. Wait, how are they fucking losing to a pioneer squad? Well, people forget, infantry section are actually technically, unless you upgrade them, really weak infantry. So the pioneer squad, inside the castle, since they're close range, will typically do better. A lot better. And we'll instantly own them and push them back. Yay, pioneers! I can actually kill a unit. Very rare do I actually see a pioneer actually hold up against a unit, but it is possible. It is possible. Now, moving on. Oh, really? They don't get a... Alright. We can see that the Axis have pretty much taken control of a decent chunk of the map. The Allies need to figure out something, although we see a lot of mortars coming out again. Most likely that's due to the fact that, again, we have a nice little American mortar squad here. Trying to hold them back, I can definitely concur with that statement. I can see why it would be effective. Again, mortars, some of these MGs and whatnot, which we can see here, again, more MG spamming, but Wehrmacht makes sure they don't get, you know, mortared to death, brings out their own mortars. Colonel Khan has a nice mix, a few more MGs with some armor-piercing rounds. Very nice. I would definitely do it against this building. Monster Fart, alright, we just went over him. Second, nice variety of Stern Pioneers, and then front. Although this guy went Mechanized Assault, could be pretty good in the north, but though he's kind of in the south area, so he's more like wide open, except for the close area in the castle, which Assault Grenadiers could be very good in. And then down south, second went the Breakthrough, good for long range, and infantry if we're just going by that. Panzer Fusiliers, good long range, and Sturm Officer, good for just boosting infantry in general. Allies have not picked anything yet. That's very shocking. You typically, I don't know, would expect something, anything. Also, typically, I would probably say it's a no-go area up here. Although, I mean, like, if this guy got a flamethrower or a Molotov cocktail, okay, he did get a Molotov cocktail. If he could get, oh, nice, jumping the fence, and that should allow him to get around pretty much the MG. If he could throw a Molotov cocktail in that building, he could knock out the Grenadier squad. Not sure why he's still suppressed, but hey, that Grenadier squad's gonna die. Pioneer Squad took that. We look in mid, and we can see a nice MG kind of holding this area off. Very, very nice. Very good hit. Very good. Pioneer Squad moving up. Gonna try and knock out that MG. Pushing it back. Wow, Pioneer Squad's doing a lot better this game than than I originally thought. Huh. Now let's see. We have a nice mortar encampment going in here. This could be effective. Actually, very effective at countering the mortars on the Axis side. Now, I'm assuming the Allies are probably in a detrimental location because of simply because of the fact that, again, majority of the map is now under Axis control, which is not something I tend to see early game. Usually, yeah, Allies get early game pretty effectively, but these guys are doing really well. I like how he's MG hopping from building to building and using his Grenadiers to kind of smoke things out, make sure they couldn't get in. Very, very clever. Down south, of course, we have a nice big group, and it looks like he pulled back to help in mid. So if he's now helping in mid, this guy down south, and something I say, it's like be very careful if you do this, is going to swarm up, and he's going to do a nice uppercut up through here. And even though this guy's a good front line, could be bad. Now, that being said, we do have 4 mortars over here, and versing the 2 on this side. Probably not going to be all that effective. Unless you got the assembly headquarters that kind of makes the mortars fire faster, then it can be a little bit more effective. But overall, again, they have so many mortars over here, I just don't think this mortar encampment is going to last very long. Up north, okay, MG location is strange location. Very nice, very, very nice mine placement. Again, we have the AT mine right here along with the rest. So sends a tank up here, boom, there it goes. So we're going to see a lot of forces here with mines going to detonate. Yes, they do, and say goodbye to some of your, well, actually, decent chunk of your men in health. MG is going to start firing, opening fire on the conscripts and mortar squad. Don't know why it's still hitting this squad. Oh, there we go, it's turning. Now it will. Armor piercing rounds guarding the remaining flank. More mines going up. I like this guy, because again, if the conscripts try get around or somehow break this and then try to flank, boom, they go through a minefield, and typically the enemy, or usually the player receiving the minefield, especially early game, doesn't really expect it. Late game, it's always crucial to make sure if you do a major flank that you do have a minesweeper to get through. Alright, so we have some partisan. I think that's a bad move. Shock troops could be good. Shock troops could be very good because you could break through and do a lot of damage. Down south, we have another push, but their infantry section and bursting a bunch of guys in buildings. They're going to pretty much die and pretty much get pushed back relatively easily. And very nice job. And retreat. There you go. Yeah, MG34, yep. Again, we got that because of the medical HQ here, which, again, nice reinforced point. And that should allow him to keep pushing up, putting pressure, and actually start taking some points. If he could swing up north, that would be a good flank, and that would really take out all of their men. Although it looks like the mortars pretty much annihilated the mortar encampment. So, again, I am going to assume at some capacity that Ben is on the Axis team, because I don't think he would send me a replay like this if he was not. Now, we have, I think, again, the MG42 over here. Did a pretty good job suppressing. Shock troops trying to push up, trying to lock down the northern area. This is going to be pretty annoying because of all the MGs, and this is where probably armor would be good. What armor do you have? Yeah, probably a half-track would be good, because you could come around here, use the quad, and pretty much decimate them. But no, let's not do that. You do have an armored car, which I have a feeling might be hit by that mine, which would be incredible. ID, you have a lot of infantry, but you lack... But, you know, you still have more room for more... I messed up. Let me restate that. You have a lot of manpower. Use it to get infantry. The end. Moving on. Skywalker with the shock mortars. So shock troops, like I said, pretty good. Okay, we have the infantry company. That could be good for artillery and kind of helping counteract MG spam, which is very, very nice. And same with the gun, more artillery. So it looks like they're trying to counteract the mortars, is what I'm seeing right now. Now, assault grens, I don't like them that much, but goddamn, if they're in heavy cover, they are a beast. And lo and behold, they're in heavy cover, so it's going to be pretty hard. If he throws grenades, that could be very effective, like right here. But he's going to retreat. But again, we have a nice minefield right there, causing a lot of damage. And he, has to retreat. More assault grens coming up. They have this castle area pretty much locked down. So, yeah, they have to fall back. Down south, again, we have an armored car pushing up. But remember, they have not only armor-piercing rounds from the MG34, very nice. But we also have the awesome Verkan Warfare doing a nice shot off double with that combo, armored cars pull back and probably can't engage in the south. Very nice Panzerschreck knocking out that armored car and just annihilating that. Now again, we do have some artillery coming in. I'm assuming, yeah, it's concentration barrage. So this building, he probably wants to get out of it immediately and fall back. But he's gonna put more infantry in there because why the fuck not? Luckily, it was only one artillery piece, but he's getting out, so good for him. I think. Dude, retreat. You're about to... Oh, whatever. We will lose without VPs. Samuel the gun. Well, they are losing with VPs in 10 minutes. What the fuck? Oh, this is great. Nice headquarters building that should stop them from capturing. Well, if they broke this, capturing it. And definitely capturing this point. What is this? Quad mount finally moving up. CH2, that's kind of cool. But we do have a tank up north. And it looks like it did hit the mine. Or a mine or Panzerfaust. Something happened to the poor son of a bitch. And there it goes. Your downfall. No idea what's going on, but that's game. Nice short game. Nothing too out of the ordinary, but I do like it as well. I like the more infantry combat focused, and pretty much how they are able to pretty much capture each of the stars and run the time down. It's very hard to do on this map because again, the enemy will typically kind of sway and move somewhere else. But it looks like the enemy just held fast, and the allies were like, "We got this," although the Axis were like, "Fuck no, you don't." And just locked it down. So I do like that. Maybe a little bit mortar spammy, but again, it's two guys getting two separate mortars. So in my opinion, that is not a spam. That's just two guys bringing mortars. I know that can be annoying because you have 4 mortars. But again, if you were to, let's say, push north with all 4 of you guys, you could easily take 2 points. Plus, you could overwhelm them and push them south before these guys can really move their forces up north. So that's an opportunity. Let's look at damage. Overall, we're at Colonel, who has most damage. Monster Fart, 49 kills. Very nice. Enemy team, looks like Samuel and Dan kind of got it. They barely got anything. Monster Fart was probably the best player with kills. And again, if I had to look, where were you? Yes, there we go. Yeah, probably your MGs and the mortars were probably the main cause of that. Yeah, 17 kills, definitely. Nice job with the Panzer IV. That probably would have easily, destroyed what was left. They have 1 AT gun, I think. Yeah. And they probably would have wrecked these guys. And then I think Colonel Cotton was the other person. Let's see. Colonel Cotton. Probably just overall infantry. But in any case, that's game. I want to thank you guys for being Patreon supporters and checking this out early. And like I said, more content will be available earlier, not just a special video. So you guys will have more exclusive content coming out for you guys. And for those who are tuning in when this is released to the public, I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you send in a replay. You can do so via my Facebook and or my Gmail. And I'll see you next time.